Set your mind on fire. Today we're going to talk about styling, the different HTML style tags that we've got, not including the actual style tag, but different tags that we can use in HTML to section off our content to style it differently. How we do that is we've got a number of different tags that tell the browser how you need to style that tag. Now, this comes alongside CSS. You can set how all of these display in CSS, but there are a number of different default options that you can just throw in, and if you want to tie in multiple sections of your content and make them look the same, you're going to use these tags to keep everything, to keep continuity in your pages. So we're going to start off, we've already looked at the layout and how that works, our different sections that we've got here. Now I've got it set up to Introductory HTML. You can preview what I'm doing here through the link that's in the description. So if you have that opened up, you can see this whole list of different styles that we've got. I've made an unordered list, is what we call this. The lists that don't have numbers are called unordered lists. They just have icons off to the side. You can style it so it doesn't have icons. You can style it so it has different icons. That's all done through CSS, and we're going to talk about that later in a different set of videos. But today we're going to talk about the HTML that's behind that. So first off, we've just got a div that says hello world. That's not including the header and the footer, and we'll talk about those in a second. So just for this main piece of content here, we've got just a baseline text that says hello world. All I've done to that, I've done a little bit of CSS, and you can look at that under the style tag. I've just set it to sans serif, basically. So, and that's going to be everything that's in here. I just think it looks prettier. So, this is what text looks like with nothing done to it. No tags to change it. I put it in a div just because that's standard procedure. You usually want to section off your content in divs or different elements that you have set up. Some people use tables, divs. I personally like divs better, but some people find it easier to style tables. And there are different reasons for that. I would say moving forward into HTML5, you should probably get used to using divs, using this section tag, as well as using the header and footer tags, just because that's the new protocol that has been put out by W3. So let's just break this down. We've got plain text here that says hello world. We've got an unordered list showing off some different tags. This first one is just plain text, just like up here. It's just in a list. Then we have the B tag, which is bold, and then we have the strong tag. Now you'll look at these and see that there's no difference whatsoever. The main difference that you want to be aware of is that it's for SEO, search engine optimization. The bold tag, the B tag, it's different now than HTML4. In HTML5, they want to make this more of a tag that says this is something that is a keyword or a key point in the article. And so you're going to use that to pull out important text. So should the B tag be, the text of the B tag, be important to this article, I would put it in a B tag. Now I just did it to show you that it does bold your text, and you can set it not to do that. If you just want to use the B tag and make it not bold, you would just say font, in CSS you would just set your font weight to whatever your regular font weight is. You could even type font weight normal, I'm pretty sure. Now the strong tag is different. It's basically what the B tag used to be. It just makes everything bold. And people have been using that for a while too. The I tag and the EM tag, emphasis tag, there's the italics tag and the emphasis tag. Those are the same thing. The I tag pulls out important information that needs to be emphasized, but the EM tag is more of a style thing. And so HTML5 kind of makes a difference between these two, but in styling, you're not going to see anything too different unless you have it set up in your CSS to be different. Then we have little stuff like the small tag. I just wanted to throw that in there to let you know that there are other tags that make things different. Personally, if it's just for styling, I like to use spans and then give them a class or an ID. Now, we'll get into that later when we're talking about CSS. I think I've done maybe something with classes here. No, I haven't. If we jump over to this index.html, which you guys should have access to through that link as well, and hit preview, you can see we have these IDs. And now IDs are similar to classes. Basically in CSS, it gives you this, you can hit hashtag and then the name of an ID. So hashtag content gives me this section ID content. And so you're supposed to use IDs for things that there's only one of. However, if I wanted to say, I'll set up 3 divs real quick. Just one. All right, and you don't have to follow along with this, but I just want to show you, you can do a class, and it's just class equals, and then a class name, let's just say class. All right, now copy that and paste it onto the other 3 divs, or other 2 divs. So now everything that has dot signifies a class in CSS, and again, we'll go into CSS later, so you don't have to follow along with this, but I do want to show you how this ties in. Say dot class, we'll say font size 24 pixels, right? And there's debate as to what that means, and now I already have it set up, so divs outline, that's up here, but you can see those 3, they all have the same styling. I can even say color red. So now the text will be red, and that applies to each class. Pretty easy to grasp. It's just like an ID, except you can put it on multiple things. Now, you can have one tag that has multiple IDs. The ID thing ties into JavaScript as well, and maybe we'll get into that with some other stuff. But for now, that's what you need to know is ID, typically one item, class, multiple items, which makes sense if you just think about it. So going back over here, let's preview this one. Now, we've got paragraphs, and inside the paragraph, I'm displaying a break line, and then we've got headers. Now, paragraphs by default have a padding on top and on bottom. So, actually it's a margin, I'm sorry. This little bit here looks like a break in the line, and basically what that is, it says for paragraphs, by default, they have so much area above and below, and we'll go over the document object model in CSS in terms of how they break down, how this box breaks down. Basically what happens is you've got the height and width, which is just to the top of the text and bottom of the text, and then you've got padding, which is a little bit that's technically inside the box, but expands the height and width of that box kind of. And then a border and then margin. So this adds margin here and here on the top and on the bottom. And that kind of sections off your content. So if you have multiple paragraphs, they automatically give you a little bit of room. Anybody who has experience in high school trying to make your pages longer in Word probably knows a little bit about before and after paragraph space. I know I did that quite a bit. Now let's look at break lines. You can see here I have, this is a paragraph, and then I break the line, and I say breaks in the line don't do much. If you look over here, that's all just one line, and that word wrapping is just because of the width of this. I can bring that out and it's just one line. To break a line in HTML, you have to insert this BR tag, and that's a break tag or a break line tag. It's real simple. You just got to put it in at every break. Now, other ways to go about that is just to set the width of whatever you want and have it automatically break the line. But especially like if you want multiple lines here between the text, say I don't want it to just go from here to here, I want this to be in the same paragraph because of a styling issue, but I need multiple lines between there, I can just type in another BR tag and it breaks the line one more time and pushes it down just a little bit. Now I don't want that because it kind of breaks some of our stuff down below, but there we go. So now let's talk about headers. Headers are really simple. In order to use a header, you just have to say it's a tag H and then the number header that you want. The higher the number, the smaller the text. So as you can see here, the default styling for this Cloud9 IDE, their preview, has header 1 and header 2 as the same. Now, normally that's not the case. Header 1's usually pretty big. But under the default CSS for this preview, it has it set up so header 1 and header 2 are the same. Header 3, 4, and 5 are smaller. And now I think you can go down to header 6. I don't think I've used a header 6 in my life. You typically are only going to use maybe 1, 2, and 3, sometimes 4. Anything other than that, you're usually going to use a span or something like that just to bold your text or whatever. But you can go through, and most style sheets will go through and they'll set style tags all to be maybe a different font or something like that, or a different color. There's a number of different things you can do with that, and that comes in really handy when you're styling, say, Drupal, or when you're styling WordPress. You want to make sure you know how your headers are styled, because that's going to be the titles of your post and things like that. I use them quite a bit when I'm styling themes. If you're just making a basic web page, you might use them once or twice on the page, but not much. So now let's talk about the header and footer here. This header tag, how it looks like this. This isn't just going to do that by default when you throw, say, I have a header inside of the header. The header tag itself isn't just going to look like this, though. This is CSS styling that's changed it. So this kind of sections off our content just like this section, and we went over that a little bit in layout, but we can style these tags. These just kind of layout tags. We can set specific styles to apply only to those. And I've done that with the top and the bottom. This div, and then this is a cool little thing. It's a little tag that tells us, or tells the renderer, though essentially the browser, to put in the copy symbol, because you can't really just type that. And usually if you just type it in, I think it's Alt-C on the Mac. No, I don't know what it is. But it's not going to just go in. So you have to type in and copy, and there's a whole list of those. You can just look it up. Look up HTML ASCII elements. It should be ASCII elements. So footer, what I've done is I've gone into the CSS and I've told it to make everything that's in the footer. I apologize, that was my phone. Make everything that's in the footer smaller text and make it white, just like I did with the header. I said make the text white. So you can style off those sections as well. Now, this is getting a little bit lengthy, so I'm going to go on to another video, and next time we're going to talk about CSS and how you can put in style like this into your HTML document, as well as JavaScript and things like that. Thanks for watching.